What's up, interweb? RhyQuinn here, and welcome back to the Road to Playoffs interviews. Last episode you saw the winner of the Sinnoh Conference, A-Drive, and today I am with the winner of the Diamond Division in the Sinnoh Conference. We have the coach of the New Orleans Pelippers, P0KEM3N.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
Thank you for having me, Mr. RhyQuinn.
No problem, dude. So first things first, congratulations on making the playoffs.
Thank you. I'm going to be honest. I think this interview is the first time it feels real. And, I mean, we'll get into that more. But it's been a lot of work behind the scenes and not as much being a player. And it finally feels real, and I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you kind of just answered my next question, which was, are you excited to be here once again? Because obviously you made it in Season 2. But you're back here in Season 4 again. Is that, are you excited to be here again?
So, I'm someone who sets really high expectations for myself. And Season 2, I was thrown into the fire, and I didn't get to draft a team. I had to come up with a logo in 2 days, and then a day later I had to battle, and I didn't even get to gen my own Pokemon. I had to take whoever could get me like in a zoom real quicker. I used that set, and that was my first game. So, from that on, I lost 2 games after that first win, and I put a lot together. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put everything into this. I ended up being #1 in my conference. Went to the championship. It was good. Season 3, it ended. It was kind of, we're not going to talk about that. But Season 4 is here. I put a lot of work into the season. And at first, I put a lot of work into my draft. And after that, I really stepped up and put a lot of work into the league itself. And as a player, I had a lot of downs this season. But there was no, oh, I hope I make the playoffs. There was, I am making the playoffs. I need to make the playoffs. Anything less would be a failure of the season. I was the runner-up Season 2. I drafted a good team. I need to make the playoffs. And then, I really want to have a chance to win it this time. I was so close. And that's the goal. You got to win. And the motto, the slogan this season's been finish what we started. We got Sylveon again. We got to finish what we started that season. And we have a chance to. Hey, we might not have the best record. I'm the first to admit we did not have the best season, but hell, we're here. It's everyone's 0-0 in the playoffs. I think I have the most playoff wins out of any GBA coach. I have the most experience in the playoffs. Hell, why can't I win?
Exactly. Looking back towards the start of the season then, you said, obviously you set pretty high expectations for yourself.
Yes.
Did you think you'd make the playoffs then? You said you were adamant that you wanted to, but did you actually think you would?
So, I'm not an arrogant person, and maybe I'll come off as arrogant in a few responses, and that's fine. I'm just speaking from my heart and what comes into my head first. No premeditation on how I'm going to answer anything, I just want to say it. So, I thought I would make the playoffs. I'm confident in myself as a player, and I'm confident in, my knowledge of the GBA format. But I didn't think it was going to be easy. And I thought I was in a really difficult conference and division, and I was. I ended up being in a really tight race, and very quickly Dan and Shady separated themselves. So I thought it was going to be hard, and my chances of making it got dimmer and dimmer. But every week, it's a new week, and you just got to win it. And if you don't think you can beat the best, you can't beat the best, and that's something I say every week, something I really believe in. So I thought I could make the playoffs because I think I can beat anyone. And the reason I say that is, why even be in this league if you don't think you can beat anyone? There's definitely people in this league who think they can't beat Miguel. Miguel is incredible. But if you don't go in thinking I can beat Miguel, and Miguel destroyed me, but hell, hopefully I can play him again, and I think I can beat them because I think I can beat anyone. So that was my thought. I can beat anyone. I'm capable. The team is capable. If I bring the right team, I make the right plays, I can win. So I thought I could make the playoffs. I can make the playoffs. It's just going to require a lot of work. So I thought I would make the playoffs because that is where the bar is. And if I think I'm not going to make the playoffs or anything short of that, again, why are you even in the league if that's not the goal and that's not what you think you can do? If you don't think, your best is the championship, I mean, fuck, there's a lot of other leagues you can go and just dick around in, I guess.
That's fair enough, though. That's completely fair. Looking at your performance throughout the season then, I feel like I already know the answer to this one, but are you happy with how you performed this season?
So this is complicated. This is a really complicated one, and this is when I go into full ramble mode and, tell my life story. But I'm not completely disappointed in the way I played, but I'm disappointed in the amount of time I was able to put in week after week, and I'm disappointed in the way some of the losses affected me. So I didn't play my best, but I also don't think I put myself in the best position early on in the season, at least, to be at my best. Now, I drafted what a lot of people thought was the best team. And I mean, I'm guessing you'll have a question about a draft. And if will you? Because I don't want to say things.
Not hugely. It's
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
briefly
So
mentioned, but
right.
go
So
for it.
with the draft, my draft was really good. But a main problem with my draft is I fixed up three main things a lot of teams need, or at least my team needed, with a mon that is average or maybe a little bit above average at best. I needed a bulky water, a good steel type, and a good defogger. Empoleon fits all of those roles, but just not in a good way. Empoleon is a fantastic mon, but can't be that role every battle, and it left a really big gap in my team. And I'm not good with having a win condition be a really bulky mon. In a lot of weeks, Mega Venusaur is a bulky win condition. And Mega Venusaur, I picked at number one, expecting it to be a really good mon, and it was. I didn't play it well. And that's where I really screwed up this season. I just, using Mega Venusaur as a defensive win condition, it's not my play style, and it took me a while, and I'm still learning as, as time goes on, how I can have that, be a win condition. But the problem is I don't really have many other walls, so it's, that's the thing to switch into hits, and it got a little complicated in trying to figure out where I am, how I can use this team to be my play style. And I think that's one thing I really overlooked when I drafted. I didn't draft as well to my playstyle as more to how well I thought these mons would do well. So, leading back to the question of, are you disappointed in the way you played? No, I think I played decently well in most of my matches. I'm not going to be that person who sits gets over here and complains, oh, I didn't do as well because of hacks. There was a few games where percentages, a small percentage of something happening did happen, and it hurt. But the reason it hurt is because I didn't put myself in a position. I lose one wall, goes down. I lose Empoleon, shit gets bad. I lose Mega Venusaur, shit gets bad. That's my bad for not having more answers for different threats. And what really disappoints me with this season is I think after the battle against Tup, it took a lot out of me because I felt like that was one of the best battling performances I had had. I'd made a lot of good predictions. I'd come back from a lot of things that had really taken me back, and I had to make some. And there was the Empoleon went down, and that sucked. And then woke up and killed the Mega Venusaur, and that was my win condition. That went down, and I put myself in a position to win. And even after all that, I lost it, and it took too much, and I had a hard time recovering mentally from that. 0-2, I'm making the playoffs in my head. I need to, and it just gets like seeing the playoffs, the lights getting darker and darker and farther away, and it was rough. So am I disappointed in the season? No. Am I disappointed in how I handled starting the season 0-2? Yes. I think that is what I'm most disappointed in. I think mentally it really got to me, and I can admit that.
That's fair. That's fair. But like, I think you basically you mentioned it. I think in that answer, but whether it be about your draft or about your performances or mentally or whatever, if you could improve one thing about your season, what do you think that would be?
It'd be the draft, and a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people think I have the best team, and honestly, I hate that because I think people are they're looking at the threats, and they're not looking at how it meshes as a team that's going to go against things. And that's part of the mental thing. When you're, told in the beginning of the season, you have the best team, I mean, yeah, just the best team in general, you're going to do this well, and you start off 0-2, and you have all these people, like, the GBA this season has grown a lot more than any of us really expected. So there's more voices, and there's more negative voices and more people on you when you don't do as well. And it's it's not the fact that there's negative voices, it's the fact that I notice a huge flaw in my draft that is really limiting me in a lot of games, and no one else notices it. I want to know someone who did notice it. It was Miguel, and then he destroyed me by taking advantage of that. But people don't see that. They say, Miguel's great, and he is great, and he beat me, and he planned better. But there was a big weakness, and that big weakness is Empoleon's trying to cover the role of 3 mons. If I had a better bulky water, if I had a better steel type, I had a better defogger, things are a lot better. But doing that would change my draft drastically, which I think is fine. I put a Band-Aid on a really a really big leaky hole in a ship, and it's still there, but there's a lot of cracks and there's a lot of water getting through, and it's hard. I have three really powerful mons on my team, weak to rocks, and I have one solid option of getting rid of them. I have one quote unquote bulky water, which has been KO'd, doesn't have good recovery. It's been crit twice and killed at like almost full, so that's been that doesn't help the situation if it already is not underperforming. It's trying to overperform and it's just not working out. And steel type, fucking we need a better thing to deal with the birds. So I think I tried to patch too many things I needed on my team with one mon, and it was too good to be true. Don't do that. Don't be like, that thing has all those qualities, kind of. Throw that on there. No, don't do that. Just I definitely made a big mistake in trying to. I got a little greedy. I put that on the team. I thought that fixed all these things. I'm like, ooh, Star Raptor, you're powerful. Give me. Ooh, this is powerful. Give me. And it's I needed to focus a little more on the things that would work with Mega Venusaur and make a stronger core.
That's pretty interesting answer, actually. I don't think many people would have expected you to say your draft if you just said one thing to improve, but
exactly, and that's what's been getting me down this whole season.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
No one notices, hey, Giant Rock's weakness is destroying me. And then Empoleon gets wrecked, and now rocks are... damn it, Kyuroms are switching into rock. Damn it. But continue.
Well, enough with the negativity on your draft, then.
Yeah.
Who would you say...
Yeah.
Who would you say on your team, then, do you think was your overachiever? Who did more on your team than you thought they would when you initially drafted them?
Okay, I'll answer that. The one thing I want to say is, it's not negativity on my draft. I think my draft was great, and these are all my decisions, but I'm a perfectionist, and the goal was to win the season, as it should be for everybody. And when you make a decision and you know that that's going to really hurt you in the long run, and it has hurt me, and it's my fault 100%, 110%, I beat myself up about it. It's not like, oh, I wish I drafted, but it's not that. It's, damn, I really screwed up, and it's shown. I'm lucky to be in the playoffs. It's time to step up. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm complaining about my draft. The draft is completely me. Just, I notice my faults, and I want to hopefully improve in the future. But things that overachieved. Now, this one's kind of difficult because I want to say Crocodile, but Crocodile was on my first draft board. I made a lot of draft boards, and I really wanted it. I saw it. I was like, wow, this thing has two great abilities, has two great stabs, and it's exactly what I want in a cheap Terrakion type of mon. Season 2, used Terrakion a lot, and I used Scarf Terrakion a lot as a win condition. A lot of people are complaining that, I use the Scarf Crocodile. It's like, yeah, and Scarf Crocodile has more kills than games it's appeared in. So... well, that's working out very well for me. And it doesn't matter if you know it's Scarf. The beautiful thing about this league is speed. If you outspeed the other team, you can clean up the other team at the end of the game. And Crocodile, it had a role, and it's performed it better than I thought it would. But I also, I had high hopes for it. I thought it was kind of the diamond in the rough. I was going to get it. I was going to wait for it. I was going to pounce on it middle of the rounds. And I thought it would perform as a high, draft pick. But it's been my best mon. So I think that's been, the most... It overachieved. But I think the best answer for thing that's really overachieved and done better than I thought, I think Sigilyph. It's not something I originally drafted. But two of the things that have done decently well, but I thought they would do good, is Entei hasn't been crazy good. But I got it pretty late, and I thought it was going to be good. Same with Crocodile. But Sigilyph. That was all theory modding, and a lot of the GBA is, it's the first time we've done this, first time these mods have been used in this format. How are they going to work? You were stuck with it for 10 weeks. Good luck. Maybe even longer. And I was like, I know how I play. I think a Magic Guard mon, and I can put a sash on it. It has speed, good coverage. I think this is perfect for my playstyle. I feel like this is the absolute perfect mon. But that was all theory modding. Fuck, Sigilyph could have been terrible. I almost drafted it, but I didn't want to. A flying psychic and then a levitating psychic. I felt like that would be silly. But I got Sigilyph. And that thing's 5-1, and it's won me 2 games. So that is overachieving at its finest. That's a free agent. Look at that thing.
Yep.
So
I completely agree with that. If you hadn't have said Sigilyph, I'd have been like, John, Where's your head at?
What are
It's
you
Sigalith,
doing,
damn it.
man?
It's Sigalith, damn it.
Yeah, but I had to say something about Crocodile. I mean, it had the most kills, and it's a late draft pick compared to the other things on my team.
Yeah. No, both of them are very, very solid answers, I'd say. Well, flipping the coin again, who do you think in your team was your underachiever? Who didn't do as much as you would have hoped when you first drafted them?
So, a few things. This one's actually kind of hard. So, I think the easiest answer would be Hariyama. And Hariyama is a great mon. It just never really fit on my team. It fit with my initial thought of I want bulky offense. But, you know, a few snipes and a few things I wasn't able to get, like, you know, I didn't originally want Kieran Black. I wanted, you know, Latios, and Gudra in that order, and then Kieran Black. And a lot of people gave me shit for that when I said it, so I shut my mouth. But I'm fine saying that now, and if people want to rip me apart in the comments, fine. But I wanted a bulky defogger, and then a, or at least, you know, has bulk and levitate and, you know, pretty good typing. And then really bulky dragon. I felt like those would fit perfectly. Ended up getting, you know, Kieran Black, and I convinced myself this thing has great bulk. It would be great, but, you know, its typing isn't the best defensively. And its weakness to rocks, it just didn't fit, you know, what I wanted. And then from there, I kind of, you know, I went off the path of bulky offense, and I really dicked that up. So Hariyama was supposed to be a big key part of this bulky offense team I wanted to create, but I wasn't able to create it. I still drafted it at the end for, you know, the thought of that, and it just hasn't performed in the battles I brought it, and it hasn't really been worth bringing to other battles. And if I did bring it, it would work as like a pseudo Conkeldurr, which was something that could absorb a hit and then had Drain Punch, and, you know, it could get recovery back. It was really powerful and scare things out. And Hariyama doesn't have Drain Punch. It's not as powerful. It's not as bulky. So it just, like, I don't even know what freaking role it was supposed to fill. It was supposed to be a fighting type that was bulky, and, like, I dicked that one. But I think underperforming, Kieran hasn't been as bad as, you know, people think. People think Kieran should get, like, 1 billion kills a game. It has, like, 95 speed. It's good. It's powerful. But, like, unless it's OHKOing something, it can be revenged really quickly, and you have to switch it back into rocks if rocks are up. It's not as simple as that. Fuck. Something underperformed. I would say Star Raptor. You know, Kieran has a good amount of kills, so it'd be really silly to say that. You know, some people's expectations was it was going to be MVP. It should be banned from the league. And if you think it should be banned from the league and I'm bad at using it, I accept that. But, you know, it's gotten kills. Star Raptor, on the other hand, has no kills. I don't know if it's ever gone for an attacking move. And I think that's just because I got too many things that did the same thing. Why the fuck would I bring Star Raptor if I'm already bringing Crocodile? And Crocodile's killing it. Star Raptor kills itself. You can bandit and destroy things, but you also die. So that, you know, that's fun. You know, I've gone against Blissey and Chansey 3 times this season, so how terrifying is it to go for Brave Bird against those things with a recoil? Yeah. Plus, if rocks drop, like, you might kill one thing, but I'm not the biggest fan of going 1 for 1. If it goes 1 for 1 against a big threat, sweet. But if they're sacking something off and you lose something that powerful, it's just, I don't know. I liked the idea of it. I love Star Raptor as a mon, but when I actually started prepping and, you know, thinking about using it, it's like, well, I could use it Scarfed. I already got something for that. I could use it Banded. I could just ban Kieran. That'd be cool. I don't know. It didn't fit with my playstyle. I never got a kill. It's 3-0. It is 3-0 on the team. So it is, when I bring it, I don't even get to use it because I already made a team good enough to beat the person without having to bring it out. So I just don't even know how to feel about Star Raptor. Maybe Star Raptor is going to come out like by itself 6-0 everyone and not die to recoil, and I'll just have to eat my words. But right now, that shit's underperforming, and I don't know how to feel anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with both of those as well. I think those are fair answers. So looking at the whole season then, all the matches you played, which match do you think was your biggest challenge that you had to try and overcome?
My biggest challenge? This is really difficult, honestly. So my biggest challenge to overcome. Now, I'm going to talk about the 2 answers people should probably, they think I should say. First one would be Miguel. That's the biggest challenge that you thought you should overcome. And me and Miguel are really good friends, and we talked a lot. And when the season began, and up until we played, Miguel said multiple times to me, "You have the best matchup against me. I have no shot against you." So, without meaning to, he really lulled me into the falsest sense of security throughout the entire season of when I went against him. Not that it would be easy, and not that it would be, it would be like oh, I'll make a team and I'll have an advantage, but oh, I don't really need to worry about this match. Apparently, I have a good matchup, so hopefully I can make a good team to work with that matchup. And I look at his team, I'm like, wow, he has something that outspeeds my entire team in 2 shots, everything. Well, that doesn't sound like I have a good matchup. I can't really break through as a Scavalier Hip-Out Encore? That also doesn't sound... Fuck, damn it! And that was... So it was kind of a wake-up call of, wow, I should really not ever listen to anybody again. Damn it, Miguel, you beautiful Spanish man who did not mean to do that. You are a secret evil genius to even yourself. So that really wasn't a challenge. That was more just me not really realizing that I needed to put a lot more into that match. Yeah. So if I play him again, that'll be my biggest challenge. But that one, I dropped the ball. Against A-Drive, people would probably think he was undefeated. It wasn't. And it's not anything against Dan, but what people didn't know is me and Dan played 2 preseason games. And, when I thought I was going to be good, I beat him really handedly in both of those preseason matches. And Dan is the best player in the league this season. He's 9-1, where Miguel might be, you could go either way. But Dan has been dominant. In my conference, he's the best player by far. And I was like, well, I've beat him twice. I know those wins that are just beating him twice and him not losing to anyone else definitely has him worried about my team. So what I actually did is I used my knowledge of what he would be scared of me bringing, did not bring those threats, knowing it would I knew he'd be worried about AV Entei, so he wouldn't bring Volcarona, which destroys my team. So I didn't even bring Entei. I didn't even prepare for Volcarona. That confident he'd be too scared, and he didn't bring his wall. It was just I was able to predict what he'd be scared of me bringing because I've already played him twice and beat him with these things, and I was able to come up with a different team that beat what I thought he might come up with. I was like, oh, this dude's going to bring Bioplume. He's going to bring Archeops. And he hadn't brought those at all season. So I was able to predict those things that maybe I shouldn't have because of those secret battles that no one really knew about. So, when you've already beaten someone twice, wow, my team definitely matches up pretty well against this guy, So I felt like I had a good shot at that, and I had confidence in myself. I haven't had a ton of confidence this season, but that battle I finally had confidence. And I did well, and he almost got me. It was really close, and I would love to battle him again because, damn, I think he could easily beat me. But I also have confidence that I could beat him again. So I didn't think that was my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge was playing Cooper week 4 because I start the season #1 in the power rankings, lose. I beat Drew, who I don't think had won a game at that point. So, that no one really, gave much credit. And maybe that's fair. You beat a team that hasn't won. You haven't won. One of you bottom teams finally gets a win, whatever. I'm playing Cooper. I'm pretty sure he'd had a 6-0 or 2 at that point. People were pegging him as the best player in the league. And if I lose that match, I think I lose all the credibility for the season that I have any skill or any chance to be in the playoffs. It felt like the biggest must-win for my own confidence, for my fans, and just for the general perception in the GBA. I felt like if I lost that, I would not be able to get back up the hill. It would have just been a tumble down that hill, and I did win, and that was good. We went to 2-2, and I think that was the biggest challenge, just getting over this hump of I can beat him just because he 6-0'd some people. I know I can beat Cooper. He's a great player, but I know how he thinks, and yeah, I think that very long answer of me rambling. Yeah, that's it.
No, that's a good answer, though. I think, people always look at score lines and say oh, but you lost to this guy, so that must be the biggest challenge, right? And it's not always like that.
No.
But, well, you briefly mentioned this again, but if you could play any team again, who would you like to play?
I'd like to play Miguel again, and the reason I want to play Miguel again is most people probably know at this point, me and Miguel are really, really, really close friends, and I don't care that he beat me. I don't care that, the whole, you have such a type advantage. And that really did get in my head. That didn't bother me. What bothered me is I wasn't able to give my friend a good, close battle. What I wanted to do more than anything is give someone I respect so much as a GBA competitor a really good battle. I wanted them to, even if I lost, or even if I still lost, it would be a close, like 1-0, 2-0. He felt like he actually had a chance to lose that match. And he beat me pretty handily, and it wasn't something I was used to in the GBA. And it's not many times in my career have I lost by more than 2-0 or 3-0 ever. And I think it was a 3-0, but he really, 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 destroyed me. Just the team matchup, he prepared so much better. And that really got to me. It's like, wow, this is where I'm at in the season. People are just out-prepping me badly because Gio out-prepped me, Miguel out-prepped me, and those were games pretty close together. It's like, I need to turn this around and get back to how I was prepping. So if I could play Miguel again, and even if I didn't win, if I could just give him a run for his money and give him a good battle this time, that would be awesome. I'd feel a lot better about my season if, I could at least be competitive in every match I was in.
That's fair, and you very well may get that chance.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So, enough with looking back at the season. If we actually look forward to the playoffs themselves, your first match in the playoffs is against Shady Penguin and the New York Yankees. Now, the last time you guys fought, it was in week 1, and the Yankees beat you 1-0. It was a very, very close game. So how are you feeling about this match, this rematch against the Yankees?
Now, if I wasn't playing Shady, I would have said this is the match I wanted more than anything. Because what started, the fall. Right away, boom, I lose, number 1 team goes down. Shady said multiple times he's nervous. I'm pretty sure in his commentary he was so nervous to play me. He wins. He has a fantastic season. He's an incredible battler. I feel like he's gotten better and better. And it's going to be a challenge. But getting to play him again, getting to hopefully redeem myself from that week 1 loss is huge. It's all on me. It's in my power to win, to really rewrite the season. The season's been shitty. I went 5-5. There was, I didn't even get to play my last game. It was a forfeit. I really wanted that last game to, kind of redeem myself, get like a hopeful big win and get myself into the playoffs. There's a lot of stuff with Cooper and, the games that he didn't really try, and I ended up getting the playoffs because of that. And a lot of people have looked down. I don't deserve to be here, this and that. I'm in the playoffs, and the only thing I can do to, I make myself feel better about this season, to make the fans feel better, really prove that I deserve to be in the playoffs, that I am a contender, I am a true playoff team, is beating Shady and showing that I can beat him. Because if he beats me, that's 2 times the second best team in my conference beat me, and that shows that I was not a true contender this season. So this battle, I'm going to put everything into planning, everything into being prepared to go against him, and make sure, if anything, I give it my all, and it's a close, hard-fought match. I think it's going to be a great one. Shady has a really, and I say this, and I'm not, I just complain about Miguel saying this, but he has an incredible team matchup, and the fact that he has 2 Mons that can 2-shot my entire team, and I can say that, and he could watch this, because I already said it. He knows, we've talked about it, like, fucking, it's just, when you have to plan for something, or just 2 Mons that can straight up 2-shot the entirety of your 11 Mons, it gets really nerve-wracking. You have to play that person a second time. Well, you have to really, you got to figure something out. And I'm not even upset about that. I love that. What proves, me being in this playoffs, proves my worth in the playoffs, proves that I'm a contender better than beating a team that might have a better matchup against me, or just might just be difficult for the Mons I have to beat. I think every team has the ability to beat every other team. Pokemon's a beautiful game. There's so many different moves, abilities, Mons, stats, and all this stuff. There's some combination of Mons you can come up with unless you drafted Little Cup Mons that can beat your opponents, whatever 6 they bring. The key is finding what 6 you can bring to do that, and I'm excited to figure out that 6, and hopefully I can win this rematch and move on and show that I do deserve to be here, and I still am a contender. I was ranked number 1 in the beginning of the season, and I would love to say I was number 1 at the end of the season.
So no pressure then?
Oh, yeah, none. No, just
absolutely none.
No.
It's just going to be the most fun, relaxed match you've ever had, right?
Oh, no, it's this. This whole season has been really stressful for me. I mean, I've had to put a lot of work to help running the GBA behind the scenes, and like I start off 0-2 and I'm trying to climb up, and then I lose, and I'm trying to climb up, and then I lose. I'm like, God damn it, I'm not making progress. And a lot as we've gone through, a lot of expectation. This interview has been great. It's been a way to finally say these things and get them out. And there's going to be some people who don't like my answers and some people who don't like this and that, but I don't care. I finally get to say this stuff. It's a clean slate in the playoffs, and hopefully I can go in. It's just a battle. It's just a Pokemon battle. I can win. I almost won last time if I didn't make a few silly plays. I might have won. This time, let's get rid of those silly plays and let's see what happens. So I'm excited, really nervous, really stressed, but it's fun. I'm excited to be back in the playoffs, and it's a really cool opportunity. 10 weeks to get here. I'm here. Let's just give it the best I can.
That's fair then. That's absolutely fair. So I think the last question I'm going to ask you to wrap up this interview, and probably the most important one, is, are you going to be crowned the GBA Season 4 champion?
Well, yes, sir, I am. And if I don't, I gave it my best shot. And whoever did win is very worthy. This playoffs, there are 6 great, let's just say 5. I don't want to put myself in that. I know for a fact there are 5 incredible battlers. The 2 battlers in my conference, really good. Incredible seasons, great teams, and I think either of them can win. On the other side, Hank, Mulvone, Miguel, I think any of them can win. I cannot wait to watch their battles. I can't wait to watch as a fan, and I can't wait to watch as a competitor, because I think any of us can win. But the fact that any of us can win at this point, and I think all of us are really good battlers with really good teams, I think we all have a chance to win. I think I have a chance to win. I believe in myself, and I believe I've put in enough work, and, I make the right plays. I will win. So I think, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to win. I'm going to fucking do the best I can to win, and if I don't, there's next season. If I don't win this season, I'll win next season. Maybe I'll just be that old guy that's on season 32. I'll win this one. Hopefully not, but hey, I'm in the playoffs again. Anything can happen.
And I'll still be interviewing you season 32.
Yes.
Well, that is going to wrap up this interview, I'm pretty sure. Thank you very much, John, for doing this interview. Much appreciated.
Oh, yeah, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it.
No problemo. Thank you very much for watching another Road to Playoffs interview. Stay tuned. We have one more interview to come, hopefully, which is with John's first competitor, which is Shady Penguin of the New York Yankees. So stay tuned for that. And there's going to be, of course, more videos on the GBA channel. The playoffs start this Sunday. Much excitement and things. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Toodaloo.
Peace.